Smooth jazz will be deployed in 3, 2, 1.
Right, hello and welcome to Picturedrome on LCR. I'm one of your hosts, Michael Carter, with
Kieran getting jacked up on a protein shake.
And I'm Daniel.
Not getting jacked up on a protein shake.
Think of me as the moderator.
Do you remember when we were talking the idea of doing a radio show and we came up with Crazy Kieran in the afternoon?
Yeah, and then we just abolished that entirely.
Right, anyway, we are a film discussion programme, supposedly. Daniel picked the theme this month and it's martial arts, and Daniel chose Bloodsport, I chose Blood Fist 3, and Kieran chose TNT Jackson.
So excited for TNT Jackson.
Alright, and first we're going to do Blood Fist 3, Forced to Fight. Here's a clip from the trailer.
Don the Dragon Wilson. In Blood Fist, he avenged his brother. In Blood Fist 2, he won the Tournament of Champions. In Future Kick, he fought the battle of the 21st century. Now, Don the Dragon Wilson is Jimmy Bolin, an innocent man, wrongly imprisoned and forced to fight.
Right, so that was a clip from the trailer for Blood Fist 3. It was released in 1992 and directed by Ole Sassoon, whose only other major notable credit I found was he directed the Roger Corman Fantastic Four film.
I love Roger Corman. He's a great director.
He's a schlockmeister. He's not a director, he's a producer.
That's why he's so goddamn great.
But it's a martial arts franchise based around the prowess of international kickboxing champion Don the Dragon Wilson.
They like to push that out there.
Yeah, it's really built around real martial artists.
Yeah.
They've got a really great actor in Richard Roundtree
Yes.
in the film, but they constantly, in the credits, highlight these kung fu champions over the proper actors.
Can I just say, like, the trailer just pictures Don going on these various jaunty sort of escapades. Like, first he was in a Kumite tournament, next he was a potato fielder in France.
No, he avenged his brother, but it really, the trailer sort of epitomises the film in that there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
It's just basically sold on things he did before.
Yeah.
The plot is Don plays Jimmy Boland, a wronged man in prison for a crime he didn't commit that he never elaborates upon.
That sounds like every 90s film ever.
It is elaborated on. He's in because he's
racially
Asian.
profiled.
Yeah,
But he never really says what he did other than someone died.
Yeah.
Or was alleged to have done.
Yeah.
Pretty much all, really, yeah.
Being Asian was a crime in 1992.
Have you seen what's going on in America? It still probably is.
Yeah.
But yeah, he purposefully kills the main drug dealer in the prison without knowing that he's the main drug dealer in the prison because he's attempting to molest his friend. And that causes...
Attempting.
He's attempting with some vigour.
and some friends.
Yeah, a gang of friends are attempting to molest this guy, so Don...
They're not attempting to, they are succeeding.
Well, Don busts it up.
Yeah, that's true. That does happen. Can we just go to the title sequence where he's just...
Well, it's the rip-off Raging Bull where he's sparring alone.
Yeah.
And then it just abruptly cuts to what can only be called prison rape.
Yeah.
And it's not a joke. It's really jarring and really strange.
It really cuts into it. So first you get this kickboxing sort of
it's a slow black and white, almost black and white montage,
and with weird panpipe music.
Yeah, well,
and stuff.
It's meant to be zen and peaceful,
yeah. And
which
then
makes the
cut straight into a gritty prison rape. It's oh my god.
I don't really think you need to add the word gritty.
Oh yeah.
The word rape kind of implies that.
But yeah, from that point on, everyone in the prison, apart from the prison counsellor Stark, played by the great Richard Roundtree, is out to kill him.
Grace in the film.
He is really good. He's committed to his role.
Yeah.
If you don't know who he is, then shame on you. Yeah, he's Shaft.
Shut your mouth.
Just talking about Shaft. Just
We should be ashamed of ourselves. But yeah, I mean, the worst thing about it is it's built around Don and his prowess as an action star.
Yeah.
He's not a good actor.
No, I mean, who goes into a martial art film and just think, I'm going to watch some competent acting today? You know what I mean?
I mean, the film doesn't give him much to deal with. He's a silent protagonist who's a wronged man, and he's angry about everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he can't even do that. He's got one line in the film of any.
Yeah.
Really bad feedback. And it's basically Stark is the prison counsellor.
Yeah.
And he's, why have you got so many novels in here, Stark? And he's, knowledge is power. And he, this is my power. A clenched fist.
Just shakes it angrily at Stark as well.
Stark is being really nice to him as well.
The thing about Stark as well, he becomes militant and then becomes all peace-loving. Like
he's militant against the system.
Yeah.
He's not militant against the boys, the fellow
the
prison.
boys.
Well, he treats them as family. He says we all live in the same house.
Except for one person.
Oh, we've got to talk about that, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
The strangest decision in the whole film is to make what is a very heavily implied paedophile character sympathetic. They call his name is Weird Willie, but the other prisoners call him the Diddler.
Yeah, but
and there is an entire fantasy scene of him lusting after a little girl.
From what I remember, they don't use the term paedophile like once. They don't even like say it.
Diddler is fairly definitive.
Yeah, but they don't. It's like they don't actually want to use the proper term.
Well, no.
I mean, if it's a gritty prison flick, you just go out and just say it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you also wouldn't make him a sympathetic character because he's not.
I mean, I've never seen a paedophile painted that well before.
I know, right?
He's nice to Don, so Don does him a favour back, presumably without realising.
Yeah.
And then it gets outed what he is.
And he's like turned into some sort of like strange, lovable sidekick.
For a bit.
How do you?
You can't
process that. So like, no, I'm sorry. He dabbles kids. I'm not doing it. Sorry, I can't be sympathetic at all.
Recently, I was someone I went out on a date with was talking to me about music, and she was reeling off stuff she liked, and one of them was Gary Glitter, and she added the caveat: music, not lifestyle. And I said, no. The art, it becomes pretty much dead.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get the whole thing out your head.
But even though Don tells him to get lost a lot of the time, they do go on a workout together.
They do, don't they? I was weirded out by that.
But I mean,
it's like what sweat the paedophilia away.
Yeah. That seems to be what Don's going for.
Well, that'll cure anything.
Yeah.
Scissor kicks will cure the world.
But the action is what the film's sold on, and it sucks. Yeah. You can't see anything, and they constantly replay things, so it looks like people are getting kicked to the head 5 times.
Yeah. And incidentally, the fact that it's called Blood Fist is very confusing because he very rarely punches anything. It's all about the kicks. It's very kick-centric. Well,
he's a kickboxing champion.
Yeah, but
did they sell that?
Yeah, but it's sold on there, and it's so badly shot.
Yeah.
Well, how many movies would be called like Blood Kick, and would it have sold anything based on that?
But Blood Fist is so generic. Why not Blood Kick?
Yeah.
There is a series of 8.
Yes, 8.
And he plays
8 plus a TV movie.
Yeah, which we'll get to, which is Blood Fist 2050.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was 2050 of them.
But it's all basically built around Don, even though they stopped being direct stories after the first 2.
Yeah.
He just usually plays Jimmy.
Yeah. But they are different, like, sort of like characters.
They're different characters, because in this one he's in prison, the next one he's a cab driver.
Yeah. Or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to the cantina where we're introduced to the various like groups, stereotypes of prisoners.
There's 2 gangs in the prison. There's the black supremacists, the white supremacists,
and the old schoolers,
and one Italian who is like, "Hey, pizza."
We're not even joking about that stereotype. That is literal.
That's literally what it's like. At one point, they're making pasta, and he's like, "You paisanos don't know how to cook."
So somebody making the film saw the bit in Goodfellas where they're in prison, and it's clear that they're trying to mimic it.
Basically, but with one character actor doing a horribly racist
Yeah.
portrayal of Italians.
And his best friend's a big black guy whose only other notable role is playing a character called Big Fatso in Barbed Wire.
Oh, butterfly. She's better and better.
I once heard of a talent agency, you know, for background people called Uglies. It's for people that aren't aesthetically pleasing. And I just, what kind of person signs up for the Uglies acting agency?
Someone with very low self-esteem.
Someone who plays characters called Big Fatso. But the villains in the film diverge on basically just being psychotically angry or comedy.
Yeah.
There's no in between. The in between violently and really nastily shanking people. Don's like kicking them in the head and they fall over, and they've got big comedy bandages on. It's really, really inept and not interesting as a film.
Yeah.
The title is fantastic.
Forced to fight.
No, Bloodfist.
Yeah, and in the subtitles it's like...
He's not forced, really. He does most of it by his own volition.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out to shank him on a regular basis. He's pretty much is forced to fight.
And in the times where it looks like he's forced to fight, Richard Roundtree comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
He does.
And he's the one who fights. I mean, give Richard Roundtree plus, what was it, a rake? They were fighting with.
No, a baseball bat.
Baseball
Don
bat.
does the fight with the rake.
Yeah, Don's got the rake, yeah. Richard Roundtree with a baseball bat. Where'd you get a baseball bat in prison?
It's a very good point.
Where'd you get the ingredients to make pizza? Because they're eating that at one point that the Italians made.
Yeah, but they're sort of the bosses, aren't they? It's kind of...
Maybe it's some sort of like ghetto street pizza, like he made out of rudimentary pipe cleaner or something.
Did he do have like prison wine?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. Oh, we got to introduce at least one character. Oh, what's her name? Is it Shirley or Karen or something? The cardboard cutout. Do you remember the cardboard cutout of the woman?
Yes.
With the old schoolers?
Yeah. They have they're talking about this is my woman and all that.
Her acting is far better than Don's.
There is one scene in the film we've got to talk about because it leads into our next topic. The prisoners watch a film called TNT Jackson that looks, based on the trailer that the prisoners watch, more interesting than Bloodfist.
And it does look, the trailer does set it up.
It does look like a sort of overly cheesy
we'll
70s
get to
movie.
that later.
Alright then, to conclude, would we recommend Bloodfist?
Hey, wait. We got to talk about one scene in particular. The violent shanking of Weird Will.
Yeah, it's intercut with TNT Jackson, isn't
It
it?
is. He's the projectionist. And
Yes.
he walks off somewhere and gets shanked by the main villain.
Well, because they're trying to kill Jimmy and Stark, but they get Weird Willie by accident.
Yeah. And it's a real prolonged,
It's
vicious,
nasty.
vicious
It's better
shank.
shot than the actual action scenes.
I think it's the most better shot thing in the entire film.
The most better shot, you say?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my bad. The better shot. But yeah. You're meant to feel sorry for him, and it's weird because I can't.
Yeah, no,
you can't.
It's shot like the Willem Dafoe death in Platoon.
Oh yeah.
Nelly.
Even, I mean...
We need the Casio version of Adagio Strings playing in the background. That's all
Even
this
if
film
you could,
gets.
we'd spend time with this guy and learn to sympathise with him more and see him as a character. Because he's only in a couple of scenes, you still can't sympathise with him.
But at the same time, you feel that little bit sorry for him, though, don't you?
No!
I did, and I felt weird about it. So like, I shouldn't
As
feel.
as you should.
I felt really bad, but I shouldn't at the same time. It's so weird.
Alright then, would we recommend it?
You.
If you really want to be open-minded about it, it could be a political thriller with all the power struggles inside the prison, and like the people who are actually controlling the prison themselves have their own separate struggles going on and stuff.
That's the sound of Kieran stretching.
I am stretching this to its apex, man.
It's a Channel 5 film, it's 90 minutes of empty calories.
But yeah, it is.
Because they can't afford to buy anything you've heard of.
I think Channel 5 might turn this down.
Oh, really?
Even in the 90s when they started and they were showing Shannon Tweed films.
I think this movie at its very best is mediocre.
At its best it is, yeah.
But it's constant, it's fairly boring.
Yeah, it is. It's very monotone, and Don doesn't do it any favours.
So that's 3 no's then?
Yeah, that is 3 no's.
Alright, then we'll move on to a clip from TNT Jackson. God be with you.
This.
TNT Jackson, black bombshell with a short fuse. Damn.
The name is Diana Jackson. TNT to you.
Right, that was a clip from the trailer to TNT Jackson. What did we make of this one then, boys? It was released in 1972, directed by Cirio H. Santiago in 1974, and produced by the great Roger Corman.
My man, Rog.
Mm.
But, oh, man, did you hear that trailer? My name is TNT Jackson. She didn't care.
She's not an actress, she's a Playboy model.
Yeah, I suppose. But, how did you screw this one up?
It
writes itself.
It was written, incidentally, by Dick Miller.
Who's Dick Miller?
He was Monster Joe in Pulp Fiction and a kindly old man in many other films.
Oh, right.
He's in, Gremlin, every Joe Dante film as the nice delivery man or the man next door.
Oh, I know what you mean now.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And he clearly has not spent much time off movie sets hearing how real people talk.
Yeah.
So...
It's a blaxploitation film that's clearly written by a white man.
It is. That becomes abundantly clear when we tell
the plot is both threadbare and labyrinthine.
Yeah.
Because TNT Jackson, Diana Jackson, is looking for the people who killed her brother in Hong Kong. And one of the guys involved is a drug dealer who is looking to rip off the people he's working with, who are also looking to rip off their suppliers because they haven't got the money to pay for their drugs. And there's an Interpol agent who wants to bring everyone down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, mostly follows TNT meandering.
Yeah. So, it starts us off in this weird Asian
It's
theatre.
very jarring in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's much like Bloodfist because she just gets out of a plane, gets in a taxi, and says, "Take me to the bad side of town."
Well, first of all, it starts off like an Asian theatre where Stag, her brother, gets shanked.
Yes.
And
Is that really shown now?
I just thought they should show more of the Chinese dragon puppets for the.
But it does happen. But it was quick. It was all bam, done. Next scene.
Yeah.
Obviously made for about 10 pence.
A song and a prayer.
The co-star is our old friend, the Boom Mike.
He gets so many prolific roles.
He was prolific in the 70s.
Especially in Dolomite.
He's scaled back his roles of late.
Yeah. But yeah, it as you say, it just from that death scene, it just cuts straight to Hong Kong where TNT
she goes
Jackson
to the bad side of town.
I'm looking for Joe.
Yeah.
And then she finds Joe magically.
It's horrendously made. It was, Daniel said to me, "This is so bad, it can't hold my interest."
Oh my god!
Everyone that doesn't appear to be a native English speaker is dubbed by an American, apart from the Englishman, who's dubbed by someone going, "Hello."
I'd like to British, you know.
I'd like to buy some raw, uncut heroin, which is what he actually calls it.
Yeah.
Because they basically have this terrible exposition scene. It's like, "Yes, I will buy your raw, uncut heroin from you any day. It is a quality product of drugs."
Yeah, it's like someone's typed the dialogue into narrator on an old PC and just hit play.
But they find out that the woman, the Englishman is dating, is the Interpol agent.
Yeah.
And he slaps her around as drug dealers might do when they find out there's a rat. But he's clearly given her a telling off. And he's gesticulating and talking, but all you can hear is the sound of the slaps that have been dubbed in.
And sometimes you don't even hear the slap.
No, sometimes. And there's a terrible use of slow motion to disguise the fact that they were shooting out of time. TNT Jackson was clearly not a martial artist. This was made to cash in on the Kung Fu fad. Because they've got all these stuntmen who are really good at martial arts just doing it around her.
It's a real shame because they are really, really talented.
They do some mad stunts. One guy leaps off a staircase and does a kick.
Yeah.
A stone staircase as well.
And what does TNT Jackson do? She
does a few. She does a few backflips and poses.
Yeah, she does.
She does a couple of backflips.
What I was going to say, the camera mysteriously zooms out while someone dressed in hair clothes does a few backflips and kicks.
You can practically see the stuntman's stubble,
She's tripping over a Gandalf style weird. But it's a mess. It's boring as hell.
Well, the magic about TNT Jackson is it is a very involved film. There's a lot of plays going on, and yet there's nothing going on.
Well, you could do all that stuff if it was tense. But they meander on things like TNT wants a meeting with Mr. Big.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, Mr. Big won't deal with this." And she goes, "Fine, I'm just going to sit here." And she doesn't sit there in the nightclub
Yeah.
watching the performance.
Yeah.
And then like these two Asian gentlemen just go in and go, Mr. Big, we'll see you now. I was like, what?
After she sits there and watches the karaoke song, it's
Yeah.
clear parts of it were like based around things that were happening in the country they were in,
Yeah.
so they could take advantage of it to make it look bigger.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
There's a parade at one point
Oh God, no.
with some. It's full of Chinese dragons and other cultural ephemera, and for some reason, a parade of Zulus.
Yes. I don't even know why that had to be there.
Well,
Well, there's lots of things that are confusing that don't have to be there, like the whole "is she a prostitute" thing.
Oh yeah.
she wants to be an enforcer in the drug gang, but they keep threatening to make her a prostitute.
And it's very strange.
It just meanders and meanders
Yeah.
till it comes to a climax where the drug dealers are meeting their suppliers at a hotel. The guy in the gang that wants to leave is going to kill everyone and make his own play with the drugs. The Interpol are about to swoop in, and TNT is going to kill the guy she thinks killed her brother, Stag Jackson.
Yeah.
Stag.
we need to talk about Joe.
Joe, the kung fu mentor.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
straight away when she gets off the plane, she's all like, "I need to find Joe."
Joe, who has got a very nice American accent.
Yeah. And it's just like, as soon as she gets off the plane, she goes to this random dojo and just goes, "Hey, I'm looking for Joe. I'm Joe." Literally like that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's-
she doesn't say that. She's like, "You better take me to Joe," and he's like, "I am Joe.
Yeah.
Don't be so angry."
But it comes out of nowhere, though.
She's
Like,
constantly angry, basically.
it is very convenient, isn't it?
yeah.
Well,
It's too convenient.
It's Roger Corman. Basically, he had 90 minutes to fill, and that's all you get with him.
Yeah. That is true.
And there's obvious pattern with the whole going to the parade, watching performances at a nightclub. But the ending scene is like a pecking park climax because everyone gets killed. There's just this long 20-minute fight between TNT and is his name Jackson?
No, it was
Oh,
Jefferson.
Jeff
I think
Jefferson.
it was Jefferson. I'm not so
Wait,
sure.
Jefferson, the
We're not-
main.
It's
We're not sure
mentioned
what his
once.
name is.
It was
They
mentioned
don't?
once at the beginning.
They don't really say what his name is. He's
No.
just like, "Hey, you," a lot of the time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
But
mentioned
he's the
once at
main
beginning.
villain anyway.
Yeah. We just think of him as Afro dude.
Yeah.
He does have that glorious silk shirt, though.
They were all dressed fabulous, though, aren't they?
The hitman in the tartan three-piece suit was personally my favourite with the tartan flat cap,
Yeah.
who is trying to be stealthy.
Yeah.
It usually works. I mean, because I think the logic of that is like if you wear too many colours, the more colours you have, the more stealthier you are. By that logic, in movie logic, it is.
Well, like painting yourself with bricks and standing on a wall.
It's dazzle camouflage. It's a military thing. They paint ships in bright colours so that like it's hard for cameras and radars to pick them up.
And that's what raw heroin dealers do.
Evidently, I mean, we know this film's factual. It's a documentary.
The ending scene, though, is just a 20-minute fight.
Yeah.
Some of it, they do things like, because they can't be bothered choreographing a scene, they'll turn the light out and
Yeah.
fight in the dark, and you just hear the sound effects.
That's not the ending.
No, I know, but they do that in the ending as well, because they run into a corridor and just fight in the dark,
Yeah.
and you just see reaction shots of people going,
Yeah.
And then TNT Jackson just
A lot of-
flips the switch and like turns the chandeliers on.
Yeah. A lot of these reaction shots were clearly shot somewhere else as
yeah,
well.
because the colour schemes in the places don't match.
Yeah.
There's things like that in individual scenes, though, where people are talking and the background will change and they're supposed
Yeah.
to be in the same room. In dialogue scenes,
Yeah. I mean, the main fight scene that's in Blood Fist 3, I mean, she's topless fighting these men. And like,
well,
there's
it
this-
is the 70s.
Yeah.
And then she's wearing black knickers throughout it, and then all of a sudden there's a shot where she jumps and she's wearing white knickers.
Yeah.
And then
You
she's
were
wearing
paying
black ones
attention to
again.
the underwear, were you?
That's the only thing we can't focus on, really.
What else are you supposed to focus on?
The fact there's probably a man in that scene because it requires the stunt.
I did notice a weird bulge there.
Oh.
Alright, so anyway, it all...
The pecking park
escalates,
climax at the hotel. But they forget all the disparate plot threads and just focus on TNT chasing Jefferson.
Well, the actual payoff is the revenge, innit?
Yeah, but it's
that's very
established
basic.
earlier on he didn't kill the brother. It was the Englishman, she says.
Oh, but does TNT know that?
Yes, she says the Englishman did it. He's going to be the one.
So why the hell does he have What did Jefferson like?
I don't know. But
so anyway.
they have this fight scene that goes like up and down and around the whole building and over a banister at one point because they didn't bother cropping that out the frame.
I feel like this is where the money went with the special effects because they used like
a ballroom in a hotel.
They used like a bunch of weird zoom shots and slow-mo shots in this fight scene.
Yeah. The cameraman had like clearly just bought the thing and he was finding out how to work it.
Yeah.
Well, the slow-mo is used to disguise basic filmmaking ineptitude because the things where it blows clearly land before the person has left the ground that they're dodging. It's shocking.
And they're both giving the monotone hi-ya stuff as well.
The shot
Jefferson is
Jefferson's giving it all that, but you know, TNT
he's really doing. TNT is the monotone destroyer.
Monotone destroyer. That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
The shot of the film is where they push two people over a balcony and it changes into mannequins.
And not like flailing mannequins.
No,
shop
proper,
ones that are grey.
Proper mannequins. It was shocking.
But yes, TNT finally gets hold of Jefferson and punches his stomach out.
Yeah, literally punches through his stomach.
But he wanders around for about 10 minutes before he finally collapses. And that's it. It just ends.
Man, this film should have been called Bloodfist.
Well, there was more actual bloody fists in it than in Bloodfist.
Yeah. So,
would we recommend it then?
No.
Absolutely not. It was shocking.
Jean Bell is not Pam Grier.
Few people are.
They were trying to make her Pam Grier.
Yeah, and they failed miserably.
She did go on to have a role in Scorsese's Mean Streets.
This was before this film.
What?
This was before this film.
She did Mean Streets before that?
Yeah. Shit, I thought Mean Streets was a year after.
Oh no, I think like Mean Streets was like what, 72, 73. This was
72.
74.
Oh. 74 this was.
Yeah.
Taxi Driver was 75 and Mean Streets was before that. That's all I know.
So it must be right then.
Yeah.
No, Taxi Driver was 76.
Well, while we argue about the minutiae of film history, let's just say she was in one good film.
I wouldn't recommend this film. If you're a diehard blaxploitation avid watcher,
the only way,
watch it.
The reason to watch it is if you're a completionist. If you're not, you won't get anything from it.
You're not going to get anything out of this film.
It's not even so bad. It's funny.
No, it's just tragically bad.
It's like if the three of us decided to make a film with what we've got.
This would be it. This would make TNT Jackson 2.
If it was made nowadays, it'd be made on a phone with like a 1.3 megapixel camera.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's a definite no on TNT Jackson.
Definitely a no from me.
Right, and Daniel's pick this month was Bloodsport, the Van Damme classic. Right, this was released in February of '88, directed by New Arnold on a $1 million budget, and it grossed $11 million.
I can't believe this was made on $1 million budget.
There's only like 4 or 5 sets at most.
It's true. Like the meat of the movie was at the tournament, really, wasn't it?
Basically, and you could probably do that in a few days.
Yeah.
Newt Arnold had an interesting career, didn't he?
Yeah. Quality second unit, first unit, not so much.
Yeah. I mean, this
As
film,
a director, I should say.
This film isn't that well directed. I still like it a lot, but it's not that well directed considering his background. He was second unit director on Godfather Part 2, which is like...
That's colossally big.
Well, it's one of the candidates for best film ever, so... Yeah. And Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Another colossally big and under his belt.
Not least of all, Goonies.
I do like Goonies.
I do like Goonies, but come on, it's not Oscar worthy, is it?
No. But
you look like unsure that it's like Goonies might be Oscar worthy, you know?
No, I'm one of the rare people that doesn't really like Blade Runner.
What?
I like the style of it, but I think it can be quite boring.
I find it quite cold and emotionless, but it's not this film, which is based on the supposedly true, i.e. totally untrue, memoirs of Frank Dukes, real name Frank Dux.
Damn right, Dux. The Duck Man.
Well, he's changed the spelling from Duck, D-U-C-K-S, to D-U-X, because people kept calling them Frank Dux.
They even make the pun like in
they
films.
They reference it in the film.
Pull up your jukes. Oh, okay.
He's got a couple of legit martial arts records, supposedly.
He does, yeah.
But anyone that's actually associated with the Kumite tournament in real life says he's a complete liar.
Basically what he said was that he was a secret agent working for the government of America, and he wanted to infiltrate the Kumite for something to do with like drug money or something like that, and he did, and he became their champion and broke loads of records, and apparently this was a massive lie.
And not just that he won, that he humiliated the incumbent champion by making him say I submit in the fight.
Yeah. I know he held the record at the time for the fastest kick, which was 72 miles per hour. I was like, jeez.
He claims.
Or
the film claims on his behalf. He also claims his name wasn't Duck. But it's, if not the first film, it's the first film that launched the career of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, it's his first starring role.
And it basically established the tropes that he would live on for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
The split's done 11 times according to IMDb. The bare ass shot.
Oh, yes.
And the repeated kick to the head. But he does it in his own style. You sort of really need to see the Van Damme head kick.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's got a particular pose.
Yeah.
I think the arse shot tells you a lot about what filmmakers thought of audiences at the time. Because it's like they were all sat in a room and they just said, like, it's obvious that men are going to be seeing this. We want them to bring their girlfriends as well, so we'll give them
revenue.
Yeah, we'll give them some Van Damme boom to make up for it.
Well, what else says cinema?
What else sells cinema than Van Damme boom?
It's sort of like a pastiche of every film going at the time, every successful film, because there's Rocky.
Oh yeah.
And the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
As Van Damme, as a young man, breaks into this family's house and tries to steal a ceremonial sword.
You're forgetting something here. Like, it's set up as like Van Damme wants to see his like
old friend
and master, and he stares at this.
He goes to his house.
Goes to the house and stares at this katana, which sends Van Damme into a flashback.
That's not really signalled very well. So
No.
I actually thought it was happening concurrently.
I thought it was magical, man. It's like katana of montage.
Well, I was just like, why isn't he intervening while his kid's breaking into his mate's house?
I know, right?
And then you realise it's a flashback when they eventually tell you about 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
The old man basically lets his son kick 7 bells out of Van Damme, and then he goes, I will make you a deal.
And this is where, like, the film where Van Damme contracts Stockholm Syndrome at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
He bends to the old man's will and starts cooking his tea.
And this is where like the standard run-of-the-mill training montage comes in.
One of many.
Yeah.
There's actually montages of him doing the splits.
Yeah.
yeah.
But he escapes from the army to go and avenge his adopted brother, his master's son.
Yeah.
The master is on his deathbed with plot contrivance.
Oh yeah, there's this. It forces you to feel sorry for him as well, because it explains how his first family died in Hiroshima.
Oh yeah.
Just playing that one from the bottom of the emotional deck there.
Basically, yeah.
And he talks about being persecuted in the war between Japan and China as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does,
I think so, yeah.
He does.
Where is the Kumite set in China then?
Set in
Isn't
Hong
it
Kong,
Hong Kong?
really, isn't it?
Oh.
They filmed it all in Hong Kong because it was like ridiculously cheap to film in Hong Kong.
Yeah, $1 million, you're not kidding. For the whole film.
Yeah.
But Van Damme leaves the army to go and fight in the Kumite to avenge his brother,
Yeah.
who died of off-screenitis.
He got killed by Chong Li.
Chong Li, played by the great Bolo Young from Enter the Dragon.
It's not really said that he's killed by Chong Li, but it's kind of implied.
Yeah.
If he didn't kill his brother, Chong Li ups the stakes by basically almost murdering Van Damme's best friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to him
The
later.
plucky American sidekick who looks just like Grizzly.
Oh yeah, it's John Grizzly.
John
from,
Grizzly from
Over the Top.
the
Oh,
Canadian arm wrestling champion.
First one who's going to eat that beer can.
He's the most stereotypical American you've ever seen.
Yeah,
He's a beer swilling,
massive
like, biker.
massive and strong with a beard and
dressed
tattoos.
only in military apparel.
Yeah.
The whole, and he does stupid things like headbutt brick walls to prove how manly he is.
Yeah.
Well, don't they all have that? Like Van Damme had to prove the point by entering
That's
the
a
Kumite
special
fight.
technique that his master taught him that only his master would know.
Yeah.
how you break a brick.
No, it's very specific.
Well,
brick.
you have to stack up a load of bricks and break the one on the bottom without breaking the ones on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always this like mystical karate stuff in these films. It's a
Trope in it.
yeah.
It's a very established trope of Van Damme's career.
Some would say a classic. Never goes out of style.
No, I think it went out of style.
Or like next Karate Kid, where they replace Dan with like a girl.
Yeah, that's Hilary Swank, you know.
Yeah.
Is that Hilary Swank?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't even know.
Amazing, isn't it? Her career improved.
Compare this to Blood Fist. Why did we choose? There's so much blood. At least TNT Jackson stands out as a title next to these two. Compared to Blood Fist, the action scenes are spectacular.
Oh yeah, they're brilliant
all-
fight scenes.
And they're mostly legit martial artists as well.
Yeah.
Van Damme before he became an actor.
Yeah, he was like what a world
Actor in inverted
renowned,
commas.
Yeah.
kickboxer as well. Wasn't
He's better than Don the
Oh
Dragon.
yeah.
he?
Yeah.
By far, yeah.
He's got a natural charisma.
Yeah, Don the Dragon is a charisma vacuum with precisely one facial expression.
And it was that facial expression that got him an extra in Batman Forever.
That's his most high profile role.
Yeah.
As
Even though Van
gangly, the
Damme
number one.
Van Damme's only about 19 in this.
Yeah.
He's still got
He
the
isn't.
rosy cheeks. He
Isn't he?
looks really young.
He
He does, yeah, but
does
he's
look young.
but he's touching 30.
Is he?
Really?
Yeah, he's about 28, 29.
He looks about 18,
He does.
Yeah.
and he's acting like he's never seen a camera before.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's a touch older than us too, I think.
Yeah.
You two old men. I'm still young.
Yeah, I said those two, me and you.
Right, on to the film.
Yeah. It was edited by Van Damme himself, who obviously knows how to shoot.
Oh, yeah, he
martial
obviously knows how
arts.
to make himself look good.
Yeah, but the other fight scenes weren't bad by any stretch.
I agree. I mean, you have to really be talented to make Ray Jackson, who's the big burly, American dude, look good. Because all he did was throw people out the ring. He didn't do anything else.
But he did it with passion
He
and
did it
anger.
with passion and anger. It's like,
For
get out of my
freedom.
ring.
For freedom and America.
Do you think the Harley Davidson headband symbolises something? Do you think it's like symbolising manliness?
Do you make a big point of that?
They
don't
do,
you?
don't they?
Just-
Like, Chong Li's wearing it as like a knee brace or something.
He's
Yeah.
definitely wearing it after he beats his friend up.
Yeah, he takes it off Jackson after he beats him, and like
He gives him end of film or out of film brain damage.
yeah,
You're going to be in a coma till roughly the film ends.
yeah, we're in a coma until roughly when we need you back.
Like, cheer him on in the stands or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now he's still in hospital,
But he's up enough to be like, "You're the man, Frank."
yeah, there's a lot of sort of guy love going on in that ending scene, isn't there? Where like,
Definitely.
It's like verging on Top Gun-esque.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's so homoerotic, you might as well flat out say it.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
they say they love each other.
Yeah, they do. I think Van Damme even kisses him.
The way they meet
Like,
is
on the
really,
deck.
really strange. Because Van Damme's just on a bus to his hotel and Jackson is like macking on this lady really aggressively.
Yeah.
And Van Damme's like, "I'll be your friend."
Didn't their like relationship build strong when they were trying to beat each other at like a video game?
Yeah, they played the NES game Karate Champ.
Yeah.
It's so obvious that what they're doing is not what's actually happening on the screen, because they're just pulling the joystick up and down. And Van Damme beats him in a game of philosophy, basically. 'Cause the man who is quick must not be quick to strike, and all that.
Yeah.
the Sphinx.
It's pseudo philosophical garbage, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Sphinx.
Yeah.
The Sphinx from Mystery Men.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a lot in common with Kwai Chan Kane from Kung Fu as well.
Yeah.
Van Damme is a man of peace who will kill everyone. He doesn't want to fight.
I never got that archetype in films. It's like he's a man of peace, but he's a whirlwind of death. You know what I mean?
It's like the Wolverine thing, isn't it? He's a Ronin without a master who doesn't want to kill, but it's all he can do.
Yeah.
Wolverine's always killing people.
But he doesn't want to do it.
He has a hard time expressing it.
But there's a woman in the film, just the one,
That's the one, yeah.
and she's treated basically as an object at one point. These two rivals from the Kumite tournament are trying to take her up to their room, and she's like, "No, I'm not interested." So to save her from this fate, Van Damme plays a game of paper, rock, scissors with them.
That's not it.
And then does a magic trick.
He doesn't
With
play
a
paper,
coin.
rock, scissors.
Well, what's
He
play?
basically challenges to some small game.
Yeah, that's it. He says, hold this in your hand and I'll try and take it. And he swaps the coins over. That's the magic trick, and then...
But he outwits them at a small man's game, basically.
Basically, yeah.
And they're really angry about it, and then Jackson destroys them in the tournament. And the woman is like, hey, I'm not your possession. I'm not interested in you. You shouldn't fight over me. Cut to, she wakes up next to Van Damme like, what a nice night that was.
I know, she wakes up looking at him getting dressed, and that's where you get the bum shot.
Yeah. The first of many.
Throughout his career, not in this film, there's only a single bum shot.
You counted, did you?
So after that scene, it just cuts to like a montage of people just getting the crap kicked out of them, basically.
Yeah, the Kumite tournament.
While that awesome Stan Bush tune is playing.
It is a great tune.
It's a great tune.
And the martial artists have several styles, but there's one in particular that stood out to me.
I know what you're talking about as well.
They get this actor to do the monkey style, it's referred to.
Yeah.
And it is what it sounds like, a racist pantomime. And on the IMDb page for this film, it says, the monkey style of fighting was made up for this film. I was like, if that guy was one of the real martial artists, because there's a whole list of them in this film, supposedly, why didn't he kill them?
But that's the power of cinema, though. He made that look like a legit martial art.
You see
the montage at the beginning of all the different fighters doing it. You get a lot of ethnic stereotypes there. Even the British one where like he's jumping over stuff and he's got a butler.
Wasn't like the monkey style one. He just like jump up a tree and started like knife chopping coconuts.
Yeah.
But when he's actually fighting, he's crawling around on his fist. Basically, it's really, really offensive.
I is, but like. On the cusp of racism now.
It's not on the cusp, it flat out is.
We haven't touched on Chong Li yet.
Chong Li, who is a fantastic bloke.
He is.
No, I mean, his character is a nice guy.
Oh, right.
So Michael thinks.
He's always doing things for his fans, he's shaking hands, he's
giving into peer pressure.
Murdering opponents.
The only reason he kills anyone is because the fans are cheering him on and he wants to excite them.
That's not a reason.
It's enough of a reason for Chong Li, and he's very polite to Van Damme. He just says, I'll beat you.
Doesn't he says, you are next, holding his friend's
like sort of like
substitute penis up at him.
But he's reasonable about it. He's not like Clubber Lang or Ivan Drago.
Now, the truth is, right, Mike is giving you like his own sugar-coated version. The reality of the situation is he's a very stoic, very serious like villain. Like, you do get sinister off him. Like,
I didn't. He's always laughing and smiling, hanging out with his fans.
That's the power of Bolo Young, I think. Like, if he says nothing, he's more menacing that way. It's like that in Enter the Dragon.
The slow motion facial expressions as he stands on people are like...
Yeah, he does make some fantastic expressions. But when he's not killing people, he seems like a great bloke. There's the arbitrary as well, like pseudo magic at the end, where Van Damme fights him blind after being taught to cook his master's tea while blind.
Yeah.
Because although Chong Li is invincible and a killer of many men, he blinds Van Damme with salt to ensure he'll win the final fight.
Because like it's set up that like Frank Dukes will actually beat Chong Li.
It's
like,
looking like he's winning.
He's looking like he's wiping out opponents left and right, and it's like
it comes down to these two like
there's like
big
actual
balls of the fight.
Yeah, there's actually psychology in this film which was missing from the last two.
It's basically a showdown of the two best fighters.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely see that Chong Li was actually looking intimidating and pretty scared.
Yeah, and Frank is the underdog.
Yeah.
Very much in the Rocky mould of I'll get battered for 10 rounds and then the big
back.
punch.
Yeah.
Which in this case is Van Damme's kick to the head.
And of course he wins, and then Forrest Whitaker cheers.
Yeah, that's really strange because he abandons the army, but they send two guys after him
from the FBI.
Yeah, who give up basically because they admire the way he fights really well.
Yeah. The fact that Forrest Whitaker's in this blew my mind. Anyway, I saw this film when I was a kid, and then I saw it after I saw The Last King of Scotland, and I'm just like, you're Idi Amin, what's going on?
He is not Idi Amin, by the way.
He is Idi Amin.
He's an actor. He's a good actor who played Idi Amin.
He played Idi Amin brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't bring the other Idi Amin into this.
Oh, we'll get to that down the road on Picturedrome.
We'll probably get there one of these stages.
Right then,
Yeah.
so would we recommend this one? Or
Oh yeah.
of the three, it's clearly the best film.
Yeah, by miles.
The hard thing about this is you've probably seen this all before, like tournament-based martial
Well
arts,
done.
but it's definitely good.
It's basically every cliche in the book is stuffed into the one film. It's done well enough that it's a good version of something you've had before.
Yeah.
It won't like change the world or anything. I'd say it's like a solid 8 out of 10
Imagine
for what it is.
Yeah.
Danny's probably going to kill me after this, like, but imagine Blood Fist with effort. That's what this film is.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. If
To
Don
some
tried harder, this what we would have gotten.
Oh, a lot of it rides on Van Damme's natural charisma, basically.
Of course.
Yeah.
That Don doesn't have, and the fact that it was shot with some ability.
Yeah.
And it was edited by someone who knows how to make martial arts fights look
good.
impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, Van Damme is an excellent martial artist who knows quite a few different styles, whereas Don is just a kickboxer.
Well, he's a fighter, isn't he? So he's only going to be trained in that one discipline.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Unfortunately, one of his disciplines wasn't acting. TNT Jackson was appalling.
It was. I mean, I was the only one that was getting really excited about this, and even I'm saying
That's
it's
your
appalling.
specialty,
Yeah,
really.
I love all exploitational films, and this, oh man, it was garbage.
Well,
Sometimes you get the odd film where it's so bad it's good, but this was just tragically bad.
As we said,
Yeah, as I said before, it was just like it was just wrong on so
And
many levels.
this is from the man who likes, what's her name, Diane Thorne.
Yeah, Diane Thorne's the man. Oh, not the
She's,
man.
she's clearly not the man.
She's
the
woman.
werewolf of the SS.
Yeah, the she werewolf of the SS.
Right then, so we're going to be wrapping up soon then. Next month will be Halloween.
I'm getting excited over Halloween, man.
We've planned. My pick was the 7 Golden Vampires. Kieran, yours was.
I think mine was the Francis Coppola's Dracula.
Oh, mine was that. You're getting confused. This was 7 Golden Vampires.
And mine was
Nosferatu. That's the one. There we go.
Right.
Got there in the end.
You've got that to look forward to. The
Tasty
1890s, 1970s, and shouldn't have been made.
1890s.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Well,
1922.
it's set in the 1890s.
So all of them are.
7 Golden Vampires isn't.
All right, then I haven't seen it. I wouldn't know.
That's contemporary.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It was made to cash in like TNT Jackson on the Kung Fu boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully it's better.
Peter,
It is a better-
Peter Cushing is in it.
And
Right.
everyone loves Peter Cushing. It's great.
Right then, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Picturedrome podcast, youtube.com/Picturedrome podcast, lcr.co.uk, that's l-c-r.co.uk. There's also an official LCR Facebook page and Twitter account. And from all of us at Picturedrome, Kieran,
Goodbye.
Daniel,
Goodbye.
we'll see you again next time.